Okay, so um, just hit 2 weeks in a sling, um, like this. Um, and I usually tell people it gets better every day. So each day it feels better and better. I can do more and more things. Um, Hurts less. I say the thing that is consistent is that it still sucks to drive in the car and hit bumps. I mean, that's got to be the worst thing, to be honest. But um, other than that, I have uh, pretty much just lost feeling here in this region. Um, I don't know if I can get a good visual on this scar here. Kind of see it. Not that bad. Um, so when my shirt rubs up against that, it can be a little sensitive too. But pleased with how the scar looks. When they took off the steri strips, I had a hard time not passing out, which is weird because it looks really good. Like it just looks like a scratch. But I think that just the thought of the fact that there's a screw inside my bone, and that they had to slice open several layers of skin and a little tissue and muscle. I don't know. It just kind of hit me at that appointment, that 1 week appointment. So once I hit a week, that came off. I showered that day, shaved. Feels really good. And I think once you hit that point, like each week it just goes by faster and faster. Um, I mean, I use this other hand, but only to hold really light objects. Um, even now, I don't really open pills, like pill bottles, with the hand because it requires a little too much pressure. I found that, I'm more comfortable leaning back, so I have this awesome office chair that goes back pretty far, and it lets me work pretty much all day. Don't yeah. One struggle I've had is with these slings. So I like the sling that they got me, but for one, it's nice to have a little variety, and two, I need a backup just in case something fails on this sling. So I went to Amazon, bought one sling. It broke, and didn't get any use out of it. And it was hard to do by myself. And that's the other thing is like I'm not always around somebody who can help me. So it's really nice that this one, which has a loop here and a loop back here, and two Velcro sides. So this is coming from the back and Velcroing up front, and then there's one here that's Velcroed that comes up from here. I've also added some microfiber cloth in here to just kind of make it feel a little nicer, and that's helped. I think the hardest and most uncomfortable is when I'm sleeping and I get too much pressure in the elbow area. So I have to make sure that I keep my arm relatively level, otherwise all the pressure goes on my elbow. So that's pretty much it. I have 2 more weeks with this sling. I'm going to be in Hawaii for one of them. My wife is pregnant, so she's kind of happy that I'm not going to go off without her and do things that she can't. We'll pretty much be doing the same things. This does get really hot, this sling. So I bought a mesh one for the shower and a second mesh one just for wearing around. And I think that'll help with the breathability. But as far as comfort goes, like this is the most comfortable. So find one, if you were to find a sling, find one that responds both on the front and on the back, and you can adjust both. I'm trying to think what else. As far as sensations go, kind of feels like I have like a little branch stuck wedged in my arm sometimes. Like it's like if I'm on a bumpy road, it feels like it gets really knotted up, and And of course, it gets really sore over here because this is always carrying the weight. So when I look in the mirror, oftentimes I've got a huge trap over here, trapeze, whatever you call it, trapezoid on this side, and not so much on this side. And it's probably just because, it's like I'm doing a constant workout with my shoulders, or my right shoulder. Other sensations, every once in a while I feel some stinging, and it won't even be near the cut. It'll just be kind of like off over here, like my cut was over here, but I'll feel like stinging or whatever over here, and apparently that's all really normal. The doctor said that, so at least twice a day I take my sling off, and I just, while I'm laying down, and I just straighten my arm. And it always feels awesome to do that. The doctor said that I could probably let my arm out of the sling, so doing this motion, right? But eventually doing the one where you hang your arm down and you just kind of let it swing a little bit. It's also a challenge to let air get in the armpit area. I sympathize with people who have, I'm just going to say it, fat rolls, and they have to get under it and clean and make sure it gets aired out, because it can get uncomfortable and really, really smelly. So I have to do a really good job of cleaning and making sure that, I take care of it down there. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, so I've been taking just Tylenol and Advil. I didn't bother with the harder stuff that they gave me. I feel like I respond to Advil the best at this point. I think at first it was Tylenol, but now it's Advil. I don't know why, but I would say for the most part, I just experience discomfort. Like I said, it feels like a little branch has been just, like I have a branch sticking out of my arm or my shoulder. But as far as pain goes, like I'll get some achiness, but it doesn't last very long. So that's all I can say. I mean, the doctor said it looked really good. He did a good job. I mean, I would be surprised if he said anything different. So we'll see how my progress goes after the 4 weeks. So at this point, I'm expecting pretty much the same thing every day until maybe 4 weeks when my arm's hanging, and then see what sensations I get then. So I'm not sure it's going to be worth updating, and that's why you don't see a lot of updates after week 2. I think you get a lot of improvement after week 1, and I think week 2 is kind of like where you can just live life, and it's not like the first thing you think about every day. And I have a bamboo wedge pillow on my bed. I'm at that point, so I kind of started like, when you're sleeping like this. I think as time goes on, you can start to lower the angle that you're at. I can put my shoulders back more and more comfortable. It wasn't always like that. Like at first I only had like move like a little bit before I started feeling comfortable. And I can also turn my head all the way in both directions. So I've got one of those wedge pillows. It looks like a doorstop, and I'll have like a small pillow on top of it, and it's a pretty good sleeping arrangement. So to kind of mimic a recliner, it comes down, and then I have just a little bit where the bed is, and then I have a pillow to kind of support my thighs and my butt area, and it kind of cradles me. So otherwise it's just kind of like a slide, and as the night goes on, I get further and further down. So I found that that's pretty helpful. But I'm at the point now where I can let my arm hang out of the sling for a little bit, and it's really not that bad. And that's really helpful when you're adjusting your sling or putting on a new shirt or whatever. I find that's best to just get a button-up shirt. I'll wear t-shirts occasionally, but it's almost not worth it. So luckily I have tons of button-up shirts where I can roll up the sleeve, on both sides, and especially this side, and let it come up. All right, that's it.